hear the sentiment often, women don't take accountability, but I rarely hear there really isn't an ask after that usually. Do women ever say sorry? That's one of those talking points that I don't even pay attention to because human nature, when you look at babies, children, people in general, we just don't like to say I'm sorry.
Should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship.
So something that still upsets me to this day is the fact that women got together as a collective and decided to demonize men finding us attractive. Like, what was really wrong with being catcalled? Like, it's one thing for a man to be disrespectful, and it's another for a man to find you attractive and verbalize it. It's just like, we know we like when men find us attractive. So why did we make it so that they no longer want to do that?
Why does divorce seem like a new beginning and a
Mhm.
celebration for women?
Mhm.
But on the other end, it seems like the complete opposite and beginning of the end or depression for men.
In our society, there's a male narrative that marriage is the end.
All right, y'all, a little bit of house cleaning before we get started. For those who have been rocking with me from day one, I appreciate the support. For those who may be new here, coming in or out the door, for me, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. Every bit of your engagement helps promote me into the YouTube algorithm. I thank y'all for the support. Now let's get to it. Drop the video. Let's go.
Hear the sentiment often, women don't take accountability, but I rarely hear there really isn't an ask after that usually. It just seems like just a way to just argue and feel right, and it's based off of feelings. And there really isn't an answer as to when they're saying women should take accountability, there's nothing at the end of that. There's no ask at the end of that, from my perspective. Now, if you're talking about do women ever say sorry, that's one of those talking points that I don't even pay attention to because human nature, when you look at babies, children, people in general, we just don't like to say I'm sorry. So as much as I want to say it's women that don't do it, that's just not the reality. The reality that we live in is not a marriage where men always take accountability. They always say sorry up front. And then women say, okay, good job. If that was the case, then women would not be the majority filing for divorce because they'd be getting everything that they want. And they're in this perfect relationship with perfect men who always take accountability and always apologize from jump. That's just not reality. So it just isn't.
Shut up. This is Coach Mel. I've done content on her before. She's apparently a life coach. I've looked over quite a bit of her content. And to me, from my personal opinion, it always comes from the angle of women being perpetual victims, right? So this diatribe she just went on about women taking accountability, because on social media, men often have this talking point of women don't take accountability. And so what she said is there's no ask after that statement is made. Well, the reason there's no ask after that statement is made is because there's context from the beginning to get to that statement. And that's what she doesn't want to pay attention to. Men are just not saying women don't take accountability as a blanket statement that has no context to it. Men are saying women don't take accountability for breaking up their families, for the deplorable actions of those children raised by single mothers, the thotting it up, the bopping on social media, the cultural dysfunctionality that we present to the rest of the world. That's what men are saying women are not taking accountability for. She knows this. So her whole argument of, well, they just say it's just a blanket statement of women don't take accountability. What context, Coach Mel? Because if you say this without context, then you're just saying that men are just walking up to women saying you don't take accountability, when we all know there's proper context to this whole statement. Women are shucking and jiving the accountability of the dysfunction in the black community. That's what we're saying. Women are shucking and jiving the accountability of breaking up their families and their marriages. That's what we're saying that women don't take accountability for, and she knows this. So to feign ignorance and saying that there are no perfect men in relationships, because if there were perfect men, then women wouldn't get divorced. Well, there's no perfect people on planet Earth. Everyone has imperfections. Bingo. So trying to somehow scapegoat men's imperfection on the fact that women are initiating 70 to 80% of divorces 90% if they're educated, is just bullshit. It's a position to make women these angelic beings with no shortcomings. Again, this is why men say women have no accountability. Because Coach Mel, you're a perfect example of women not showing accountability. You're trying to pretend or feign ignorance the fact of why men are saying women don't take accountability, because we're saying you don't stand in your shit. We're saying that you often run from accountability like Superman would run away from kryptonite.
Damn!
Let's go to the next one.
Should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that. Dr. Romy, seriously?
Good morning, Tom. I know, and
Come on, this sounds positively guy.
guy, doesn't it? And I have to sit here and defend all of us women, but this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married,
Happily married women are doing this?
have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a
like
specific person
a
they've
specific
identified.
person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes. And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Right, so I know you're here to say, though,
Yes.
watch out, because this
Absolutely.
is anything but good.
It is, I agree. You know, mindset matters in relationships.
These are the male orbiters. These are the friend zone guys. These are the work husbands. These are the exes that she claims she cannot stand, but somehow always brings them up in the topic of conversation.
Go on.
This is what men are talking about, right? And it takes a study to show that women have what I like to call contingencies, right? Women always have contingencies. Women are literally the Batman of relationships. They have a contingency for everything that may go wrong in that relationship. Even if it's her fault, she has a contingency for it.
How did you know?
This is what men have been saying in the manosphere. And I agree with them that women always have a backup plan. They call it monkey branching, right? Going from one guy to the next,
Fuck two and spit on that thing. You get me?
putting guys in your friend zone to keep those male orbiters around. So if something happens over here, he's dicking glass that you can break in case of emergency. Women love to have these contingencies around because they are absolutely methodical when it comes to placing the cleanup men in their path. So if something goes wrong in this relationship they're currently in, they can easily monkey branch to the next one without any hiccups or stumbles, because they don't like to have instability. They want that stability. But the only problem I have with women and their contingencies of stability is, why not have stability in a relationship you're in instead of monkey branching from guy to guy, from guy to guy to find that stability, when if you do the inner work, if you work on yourself and you become functional and whole, you won't have to have these contingencies and monkey branch from guy to guy, right? It's women who are breaking up their relationships. Studies show this. It's women who are doing these things. And the reason that women have these contingencies, because they know they're the ones who are going to break the relationship. It's correlated, and y'all just don't like the fact. Let's go to the next one, man.
So something that still upsets me to this day is the fact that women got together as a collective and decided to demonize men finding us attractive. Like, what was really wrong with being catcalled? Like, it's one thing for a man to be disrespectful, and it's another for a man to find you attractive and verbalize it. It's just like, we know we like when men find us attractive. So why did we make it so that they no longer want to do that? Because they're worried if we're going to get offended. Why? Why would we do that? Sometimes I just want to I mean, it already took kahunas to ask a woman for a number. Now the niggas are scared. They scared. They don't want to offend you. But I ain't even gonna hold you. I like a nigga come grab me. Shit. Don't grab my ass, grab my arm, but grab me. Tell me I'm fine. Let me know. I thought we all, as a collective, appreciated the crackheads at the gas station. I thought we liked that shit.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
So this is what happens when a loud minority speaks for all of y'all and y'all don't put them in check.
Go on.
They got on social media for years now, the misandrists, the feminists, saying they don't want men to approach. They don't like men. Leave us be when we're out and about doing our normal things. Don't talk to us at the gym. Don't talk to us in the grocery store. Don't talk to us wherever we may be. And I know it was a small minority of women on social media that propagated this propaganda and made it bad for all of y'all. But this is why I say y'all have to check these women. Y'all have to stop this, nip it in the butt before it becomes a thing and you didn't do it. And I realize the majority of women are not these sycophant feminists, misandrists, online babbling about they don't like men because they like to be part of the community. I get it. But when you allow these women to speak and have the loudest voices in the room, this is what happens. Men have picked up, men are astute to the fact that they made these complaints. Men don't want to be on social media being viewed as creeps. So they're staying away from initiating that contact to get to know you, to get to holler. This is what happens when you allow a very small minority of loudmouths speak for you. This is what happens. Sorry that happens to you, man. And by the way, she looks like a kind of weird, pretty fish. She has a weird look about her. It's not a bad look. She has a weird look about her, but hey, she's not a bad looking woman, but it's just a weird look. Let's go to the next one.
Why does divorce seem like a new beginning and a celebration for women? But on the other end, it seems like the complete opposite and beginning of the end or depression for men.
In our society, there's a male narrative that marriage is the end. But for women, marriage is a beginning. When women see marriage as a beginning, they're viewing it as we're going to continue to grow together. We're evolving together. There's going to be so much more to come after marriage. I think for men, the societal narrative is your life is over after marriage. So I think when women go into marriage, the expectation is that they are evolving as a couple. They are reaching new heights. So for an example would be like power couple. But if you think about the power couple, their goal is to reach new heights. So what happens often is that in marriage, women can feel stuck and stagnated. So you hear a lot of women say, we weren't growing together, or we were growing apart, or I was healing, growing, and he wasn't. So then she feels like she's stuck. So when she leaves that marriage, she feels like she can.
Well, would I like to throw some hot grease on you?
So let me get this straight. Coach Mel, as usual, women are these angelic beings and everything they do is just right as rain. So in the beginning, women view marriage as in the start of marriage, women view it as the beginning of something great. And even at the end of their marriage, which normally ends in divorce, they also feel a beginning, right? So at the beginning, it's a beginning, and at the end, it's a beginning for women.
What?
So here's my thing, Coach Mel. I think what you're disingenuously on purpose running away from is the fact that most modern women like weddings, not marriage.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
They want the wedding, not the marriage. See, the wedding brings the status, you get the validation, everybody's like, oh, you're getting married, blah, blah, blah. So women, especially modern women, love the wedding. It's the marriage they have a problem with.
Not a great plan.
That's why they feel stuck, because the marriage is the hard part. The wedding is the easy part. The wedding is the cake. The marriage is the scraps of food that you have to constantly move off the plate, put more food on the plate, make sure it's healthy, make sure it's nutritious. That's what the marriage is. The marriage is the constant cooking and nutrition of the whole relationship past the wedding. And that's the problem that modern women have. They have the problem with the bulk, the meat of the marriage. See, the wedding is the easy thing. The marriage is the hard part. And so, when, like you say, they believe they get stuck, they get stagnant. So they don't want to deal with that hard or the ills of the marriage because it takes work. Marriage is a job. It takes a lot to make a marriage successful. And a lot of modern women know they have incentives at the end, incentives at the end of the marriage when they exit, right? In divorce, because no fault divorce exists in this country. So women can leave their marriage for any reason. Like you say, they get stuck, stagnant, bored, feeling like they're not growing, feel like they're not building. And all these things are subjective, right? Anyone can look at something and say, I feel this way, I feel that way, but that's not really the reality. She can just feel that way because we all know we live in a world where women and their feelings and their emotions sway back and forth like the wind. A woman can feel up one day, down the next day, feel sideways this day, and upright the next day. It's just one of those things. Women are fueled by their emotions, and their emotions are fleeting. Their emotions can change on the drop of a dime. So she's just giving credence to the fact that women don't know what the hell they want, and women oftentimes only want the wedding and not the marriage. But I know, Coach Mel, you have a stick, you have money to make, you like to get your clicks and your views, and you get that validation from the seal clapping of the women in the sisterhood, and it makes you feel good and it makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. But the only thing you're doing is simply what all misandrists and feminists have done before you. Propagate a narrative that women are never at fault and they have no accountability in the breaking of their marriages and their families. There's nothing new about this, Coach Mel. You're just one of the newest faces in the stick of misandry. That's all I got, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. I'll see y'all in the credits. 2 fingers. Peace. I'm out. Get y'all in the next one.
Like Jesus.
I don't ask for much from you. It's like you don't got the time to lose. Made me feel like I'm a burden when I tell you how I'm hurting.